I recently bought this 4th gen Asus G10 series computer. In this video I'm going to clean it and upgrade it. This computer has a GTX 760 graphics card, which Asus has seen as necessary to install this bracket for. I am going to swap this graphics card out for an RX 480 anyway, but this graphics card can be used in some other build with slightly lower performance CPU, and I'll clean this GPU while I'm at it. I tried some different RGB fans and ended up installing two of these RGB LED ring fans. These stock fans that were installed I'm going to save for some other build. They need some cleaning. This PC had a lot of stickers slapped onto it. Some stickers were easy to remove, but some left this sticky residue that was almost impossible to get off completely. The graphics card's fan and heatsink were completely blocked off by accumulated dust. The sticker on the side claimed that this PC had an i5 4430S CPU, and it turned out to be i5 4570, which was a positive surprise. These perforated side panels are good for sticking RGB fans on them, which makes the build look very different. While this power supply could easily handle the GPU I was going to upgrade, the RX 480, I had another build which had even lower power consumption, so I took the stock PSU for that build and installed a 600 watt PSU in this one. I needed to change the fan on this Cooler Master power supply because it had become noisy. Keep in mind that it is dangerous to open power supplies, and I don't recommend doing that if you don't know what you're doing. The LED RGB fans had a problem where the LEDs wouldn't light up correctly, only red color would display because the BIOS had a setting which limited the power going to the fans. I actually needed to update the BIOS before I could set a minimum value which wouldn't hinder the RGB effect. After installing Windows and running some basic stability tests, it was time to try out some games. On Shadow of the Tomb Raider at highest settings, this performed around 45 to 50 FPS, which was an okay and quite expectable result in my opinion. I consider the game very playable at this FPS, and it was very stable. Unfortunately, the performance in this game is probably CPU limited more than GPU, so it is harder to achieve more FPS with lowering the settings. I tried to lower settings and set them to medium, and that resulted in an addition of 5 to 10 frames per second. At this point, I will declare this game running well enough, and I will move to PUBG, which is known for not being the most optimized on some systems at least. I do not completely remember at which settings I run this PUBG gameplay test, but I think it was something around medium settings. This game ran quite consistently around 75 to 80 FPS, which I consider quite good for PUBG. Usually on many systems I've found out that there tends to be some lag spikes or sudden performance drops for this game if it only runs barely above or at 60 FPS. So it's nice to have some headroom above 60 here. It looks pretty promising that a 4th gen non-overclockable i5 can achieve this good performance in games in 2020. So I think you could easily run this PC as a daily driver gaming machine even now.